What's up, warriors of Tamaris, back again with another Call of Dragons video. In today's episode, we're going to check out the top 3 mage marches in Call of Dragons. We're going to have a look at 2 different talent trees. The first talent tree is going to be low march speed and more damage. And then the second one is going to be 41% march speed, which is fast march speed but a little bit less damage. It's going to be good for open field combat as well. If you're new here, like, share, subscribe, leave some comments down below. Let's get started. Alright, warriors of Tamaris, another day, another video. There are so many mage marches in Call of Dragons, but this video is going to show you the top 3 in the game as of right now. If you're new into Call of Dragons, these are the marches that you need to invest right away. The first one on our list is going to be Vardun and Cantaman. This is hands down the best mage march in the game as of right now. If you're new to the game, this should be your priority. If you can max both of them out, you're going to be getting so much merits in the open field. Now let's start off with the artifact that you're going to use with this march is going to be the Doom Bracers, which is fantastic. It does some crazy damage. It's got good control effects. It's absolutely perfect. And if you get the Exemplar, you're going to get even more damage, which is just beautiful. And then for the War Pet, you can go with the Magifox. This is the build for the Magifox. You just need to make some changes here. I just have the skills here as a place filler. But what you need over here is going to be the advanced Foxfire. You're going to put it in this slot. And then the other one is going to be advanced follow-up. And this pet build is pretty much done. Now, if you're going to be playing like with 4 or 5 Sun Lizards, this is what your Sun Lizard should look like. With the Sun Lizards, you really only need 4 skills on it, which is the Stone Aura, you have the Divine Blessing, you have the Tranquility, and you have the Advanced Stone Aura. This one is debatable. You can have it or not have it. It's going to be up to you. And then for the other skill slots, you can just put stuff that you think is going to boost your march. Now let's go and check the synergy between Vardun and Cantaman. What really makes them so good for the open field combat. For this, we're going to go to the hero section and then I show you from there. So we're going to start off with Vardun. Vardun rage skill can do lots and lots of crazy stuff. But we're going to pay attention to this fire orb right here. This fire orb, when you cast it, it's going to do 1600 diffuse damage to 3 targets. You need to remember that. One fire orb is going to hit 3 targets. Now, when you come to the second skill over here, when you cast a rage skill, you're going to get a random rune. It's going to be one of these 3. But you really want the fire orb, which is exactly what you want. Because on skill number 2, when you trigger a ravaging rune, which can turn into a fire orb, you will be able to hit 3 enemies. You see this, right? 3 enemies, which means you're going to hit the fire 3 times for a total of 9 targets. That's the beauty with the fire orb and the ravaging rune. Now to get the ravaging rune consistently, you're going to need to max out this hero. When you max out this hero, you're going to have 100% chance to gain a ravaging rune upon entering battle, which means anytime you enter battle, your first rage skill is going to be a ravaging rune. It's going to do fire damage 1600 to 3 targets. But with the second skill, you're going to multiply that by 3, hitting 9 targets in total. This is what makes this march so crazy for open field combat. And then you got lots and lots of control effects over here that can just make you do some good stuff. Now with this hero, you're going to need Cantaman to take him to the next level. Cantaman has a crazy awakening that gives him like crazy damage dealt. As you can see over here, it is nuts. And then he's also got like lots of defense penetration. It's like a perfect combination between the two. This is hands down the best mage march in the game right now. It's going to be slapping enemies and doing some good stuff on the field. With all of that out of the way, let us have a look at the talent tree for Mr. Vardun in Call of Dragons. The first one that you see here is the 41% march speed. I like 41% march speed because it lets you close the distance, get to the enemy a little bit faster and cast your rage skill faster than everybody. And if things go down south, you can run away faster than all of your teammates, which is very good. We also have those multiple cavalry marches that tend to rush into the crowds, but if you're fast enough, you will be able to get away and your teammates are gonna get caught. So that is the importance of the 41% march speed, if you can get to the enemy 2 seconds faster than your teammates, it means you will cast your rage skills 2 seconds faster than everybody else. The damage might not be so good, but your timing is going to be perfect. Going in and out is going to be super fun. So this is the talent tree for the 41% march speed for Mr. Vardun in Call of Dragons. The next talent tree that we're going to have a look at is going to be the skills talent tree. It's pretty much the standard skills talent tree that you see everywhere all the time. So this is what it looks like. The march speed is going to be 21% march speed. You're going to make your way all the way over here. You can decide between Boiling Blood or the Spirit of Rage. It's going to be up to you which one you want to take. And then over here, you got the Raging Tide, which is a good skill to have. And you also have Steady Hands. One of these two is going to be awesome. But why did I go with Raging Tide? Now, as you guys remember, I explained this skill here that hits 9 targets. So if you can hit 9 targets with your first rage skill, it means you're going to have more chances to trigger the Raging Tide and get even more damage. So that's the reason I decided to pick this one, because of Vardun's Ravaging Rune that you get from the second skill once you awaken the hero. And then when you get to the end over here, it's pretty much the same thing as well, since you can hit like 9 targets with your second skill and the Ravaging Rune, which means when you get this one to a higher level, it's going to do some crazy stuff, especially when you go after, when you've done 2 or 3 rage skill cycles, this thing is going to be popping off. But you shouldn't underestimate Thirst for Blood as well. This one is fantastic for those quick short fights. However, for Vardun and Cantaman, I think this would be the best choice for this march. Up next, we're going to check out the second best mage march in the game. We're going to go multi-create. Preset number 7 should be this one right here, preset number 8. So the second best march in Call of Dragons for mages is going to be Yunming and Gromara. This is going to be the second best mage march in the game. Now, you can try and change Gromara and put somebody else, but people have found out that Yunming and Gromara is actually the second best right now in the game. So this is what you're going to use. We're going to try and save this preset on number 7. Okay, save it preset number 8, and it is saved. So this is the second best march in the game. I think you guys are already familiar with this march. Yunming can hit like crazy, rage skill almost every 2 seconds, which is absolutely fantastic. He's got a fantastic artifact that also does damage on its own. With this skill right here, the additional effect lets you do lots of damage. With the hero, it is absolutely fantastic. When you get the exemplar, it's going to be even better. When it comes to the war pet, you're going to go with the Flaming Manticore. This is the war pet that you use, and this is the build that you try to use for this war pet. Now you can remove this Light's Guidance and put something else. Since we got a follow-up over here, you're going to put the Advanced Follow-up. And then for the last skill slot, you're going to try to boost the Fire Cage with the other Fire Cage skill. Which one is it? This one is the Intense. You can put the Advanced Fire Cage over here. So you're going to have Advanced Follow-up and the Advanced Fire Cage, and your pet is pretty much done. Now, if you want to use the Sand Lizards, another good Sand Lizard is right here. You can use a Sand Lizard that looks a little something like this. You can remove the heart wall and then put something else. And this is going to be the Sand Lizard that you use. Let us check out the talent tree that you can use for Ming and Gromara. I have 2 talent trees for you guys today. We got the one with the low march speed and more damage, and the one with the high march speed and a little bit less damage. They are different, but they are very efficient. So what I have here on the screen is the 41% march speed for Mr. Yunming. I like to play with 41% march speed. I do not like slow marches. Now, if you want to build a 41% march speed, this is what you should build. It should look a little something like this. This is the standard 41% march speed that a lot of people like using in Call of Dragons. Now, why would you use 41% march speed in the game? That is because usually when you target someone, they are far away. And if you don't have the march speed, you won't be able to get to them in time. Now, if you have 41% march speed, you could be 2 seconds faster than all of your teammates, which means you're going to cast your rage skill 2 seconds faster than all of your teammates, which could be a game changer on the field. And you can make a U-turn and run away. This is why I like the 41% march speed. It doesn't look like it does a lot of damage, but it's very efficient. It lets you cast your rage skill faster than your other enemies, especially if the targets are far away, because you have the speed to close the distance. So this is the 41% march speed. Now we're going to go to the skills tree. The skills tree is going to look a little something like this. It's the standard skills tree. The march speed is a little bit less. I think here we're going with, is it 15 plus 6, which is 21% march speed. That is what we have over here. Now, when it comes to these two skills, you're going to have to pick one. I think both of them are going to be good. But since Yun Ming can cast lots of his skills most of the time, I think Raging Tide is the way to go. He can cast rage skill every 2 seconds and it hits 3 targets, which means you have more chances to get the crits. I feel like this one is going to be more useful than Steady Hands. And then when you get to the end, you have 2 very good skills over here. You got Thirst for Blood and you have Caged Animal. Now you're going to go with Caged Animal because Caged Animal is going to be used by both Ming and Gromora. If you go with Thirst for Blood, only Gromora is going to be using Thirst for Blood. So I think it's going to be a waste. Ming does not use Thirst for Blood because he does not cast a rage skill, which means you should be going with Caged Animals. This one is going to give you more hero skill damage. That's also going to be used by Yun Ming, I believe. And then the 1 point left, you can drop it over here in infantry counter tactics. That way, you can do more damage to the infantry on the field. The third strongest mage march in Call of Dragons is going to be Saluna and Bertrand. So this is the third best mage march in the game. If you're new into Call of Dragons, this is something that you want to invest. But if you want to be very smart, you're going to remove this guy right here and then invest in Saluna. Because the devs just announced that they are going to be introducing another flying hero into Call of Dragons. As soon as that flying hero comes into the game, I think the flying hero is going to be maybe G5 or a G6 hero, which means that flying hero is going to be stronger than Bertrand. And this lineup is even going to be very strong. I think it has the potential to be the best mage march in the game. So this is something that you need to look out for. But in the meantime, Saluna and Bertrand is absolutely fantastic for open field combat. It is doing some crazy stuff, pulling in some good merits. Mine is already maxed out. I cannot wait to use this march in this brand new season. So this is going to be the real deal. This is march number 3. It's going to be doing some crazy stuff. Let us start by checking out Saluna. Saluna can do some crazy stuff, getting these Lunar Moth marks. That's also going to trigger this Seraphic Frederick and get some good stuff. You can use the Seraphic, you can use pretty much any flying mage pet, so that's going to be awesome for this pairing. You can go with the Mirage Orb, which is going to work well with Saluna, since she gets those Lunar Moth marks, which will allow her to also take this artifact to the next level. And you also have Bertrand, who is going to bring lots and lots of attack to the table. This is going to be fantastic for open field combat. Saluna has skill number 3. That lets her do like 45% damage dealt for flying units, which is absolutely brilliant. You get like up to 30% march speed, and what else? Do you get 40% HP? Let me see here. 10% HP. Dude, 40% HP and then 30% march speed. This is nuts, guys. This march is something else. And then for the awakening, you get another 30% damage dealt. Oh boy. This is absolutely fantastic. It is right now the third best mage march in the game, but that's gonna change. Be on the lookout, guys. The devs are gonna introduce another flying hero into Call of Dragons, and things are going to be different. I cannot wait. I've already started saving up some tokens for the next flying hero that's coming to the game. The devs said that hero should be here late this year, so we shall see when they add that flying hero. As soon as that flying hero enters the game, I will be ready. So these, ladies and gentlemen, are the top 3 best mage marches in the game. First of all, we're going to check out the talent tree for Saluna. I need to show you guys, we got different talent trees. So this one that I have here on the screen is what I like using. This one is a rage build talent tree. I don't know if you should copy it because I'm just testing this one right now, but you can use what most people are using in the game. So we start off with the skills talent tree for Saluna. Saluna already has 30% march speed, so you're going to ignore every single march speed from the talent tree. And the talent tree is going to look a little something like this. When you look at this talent tree, you can see that I have made some minor changes to this talent tree. And one of them is these 2 skills right here. I think you are going to benefit with the steady hands because of the lunar moth mark, which gives you a buff and helps you maintain this skill at 10% almost every time. So that's going to be a big plus. Now you could go with the raging tide, but these 2 marches only have like 2 instances of rage skill damage. So I don't know if you will be able to get more crit rates, but I think this is going to be pretty good with the steady hands. This is going to be a good one. And then at the end, you can see that I kind of avoided caged animal and went with the thirst for blood. Now that is mainly because Vardun doesn't have like a crazy rage skill damage. It is only 1500 damage factor, and Saluna only has like 1800 damage factor, which is why I decided to go with this one, thirst for blood. Thirst for blood can also get a crit from this focus skill right here, making it do even more damage. It is excellent for those quick short fights. Now when we go back over here, you can see that the rage skill for Saluna is only 1800. But you look at the rage skill for Vardun, his rage skill can hit a lot, especially when you awaken him. You're guaranteed to get a ravaging rune, which is 1600 to 3 targets. And with that skill, when you pick cage animal, it's going to be doing some good stuff on the field. But when it comes to Saluna, I feel like she only hits 1 target. It's only 1800. So it's going to be very beneficial if you go with, I think, thirst for blood instead. I could be wrong. But I still feel like thirst for blood is good for this lineup. So this is what I would choose. Now you can decide to put your half points on the overall talent tree because you're going to get this skill Guardian Angel that's going to help you, you know, be very strong on the field, negate those counter attack damage. But if you want more damage, you can go over here on this branch instead. Grab this, grab this, and then grab this one right here. That'll be the other half of the points, and then everything else goes over here. The next talent tree that you can use with this march is going to be the 41% march speed, which looks a little something like this. From the bottom here, you're going to pick the 6% march speed, and then you come over here, you grab another 4%, giving you 10% march speed. This march already has 30% march speed when you're flying with your Celestials. So that's going to be 40% march speed. And you see I have 1 point left over here. Now that's going to be up to you. You can either put it over here to get 42% march speed, or you can keep this march at 40% march speed, put this 1 point over here in rivalry and get 1% additional normal attack damage, because this march is going to be doing some crazy stuff on the field. Now over here, you can see I went with this stuff. Now, before we get over here, you should know something about steady hands. In case you decide to bring Thea in this lineup, you're going to have to alter your talent tree and remove your points from steady hands, because Thea does not work with the steady hands. It's going to interfere with her synergy from her rage skill. So this would be the talent tree that I use for the 41% march speed. Again, if you don't like the PvP tree, you can get half from the overall talent tree, where you can get this skill right here known as the Guardian Angel. So this is going to be pretty good for this lineup, 41% march speed. Remember, if you're using the 41% march speed, you're going to get to your targets a little bit faster. You could be 2 seconds faster than your teammates, which means you have gotten 2 normal attacks before your teammates, which also means you're going to cast your rage skill 2 seconds before all of your teammates. And if you're going to be going in and then running, going in and then running, you could cast more rage skill than everybody else. That's the good thing about the 41% march speed. Excellent for maneuverability. And that's it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. These are the 3 best mage marches in Call of Dragons. If you're looking to invest, this is it. just make sure that on the 3rd March, it is going to get better, because we're going to get another Flying Legions later on. I mean, another Flying Hero later on this year. And this March could even turn into number 1. So we're going to have to wait and see. We shall see how that goes. Let me know down below if this video was helpful to you. Like, share, subscribe, leave some comments. Until then, we shall meet again in the next one. Bye bye for now.